Well, we're going to try this again, right? Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures.
Hi there. Long time no see.
Long time no see. Well, we've got a lot to talk about, and we're going to try to get it done as soon as possible. Get through this real quickly here.
Lots been going on.
A lot have been going on. A lot has been going on.
First of all, when we
That's for
talked
sure.
last time, we was in Oklahoma, and from there we moved to
That's right.
Dam Site Park.
Yeah.
For the Labor Day weekend.
Back on Beaver Lake for the Labor Day weekend, and we'd had that site reserved well in advance,
Yeah,
right?
for Labor Day, for the main holiday weekends, you have to reserve well in advance, like I think 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to reserve well in advance at the popular campgrounds, especially that time of the year, because when they have
Because a lot of people
holidays.
believe it or not, they like to camp out.
Oh yeah. If you don't have your spot reserved well in advance, you aren't going to get one. That's all there is to it. There's no such thing as driving up to get one. But we had a wonderful time there at Dam Site Park. We had a beautiful view, and our setting was absolutely awesome where we were setting.
Totally beautiful. You could watch the sunset. You could watch the sunrise. We was right on the water. It was just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, gorgeous. We had the kids came out 2 or 3 days in a row. We had all the kayaks there, our kayaks, their kayaks, all kinds of boats to paddle around. The water was crystal clear. We could easily launch our kayaks right from the beach, right there. It was just absolutely beautiful, and we really enjoyed it. We had 2 really nice, big, heavy thunderstorms roll through with really high winds.
Which we don't enjoy.
Right. The first one we expected because they warned us ahead of time, so we didn't even bother to set up the gazebo. And sure enough, it came exactly when they said it was going to, around 11 o'clock at night, I'd say, and probably had 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The trailer shook like crazy because the wind was hitting the trailer exactly broadside. But we made it through it, and we knew it was coming, so we were prepared. So after that, we went ahead and set up the gazebo, and 2 or 3 days later, they were talking about, well, we got some weather that's going on a couple 100 miles north of us. It might or might not affect us. You know, if it does, it's not going to be that bad. Just going to be rainy, and that's about it.
Whatever.
Yeah. About 4:30 in the morning, all of a sudden, the trailer started shaking like crazy again. We jumped up to look, and we were having wind gusts around 50 miles an hour again. But this time the gazebo was set up, so we ran outside.
So we could at least be there to catch it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's about all we knew to be able to do was be there ready to catch it in case the wind took it. But it held up just fine.
It held
made
up.
It. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was quite a
So we did a
storm.
test.
Yeah.
In high winds.
So, after the storm settled down and everything, we were awake. It was 4:30. We was already awake.
Not
So
to stay awake.
put the coffee pot on, sat out in the gazebo in the rain because it settled down. It was just raining, and watched the sun kind of sort of come up. It was kind of cloudy, but
Yeah.
we were there.
It was a beautiful start
Yeah.
of the morning.
Yeah.
After the storm.
After the storm, right. So anyway, that's the story of our Labor Day weekend, kind of quickly there.
Yeah.
Now we got to move on to some other stuff. But first, how do you like my hat?
I like your hat.
How do you like my hat? Just got this hat just a while back. Yeah. And we happened to find, it's hard to find a hat to fit me because I've got a big noggin, a huge noggin. So we happened to...
Not a big head.
We stopped by Duluth Trading Company. We got a new store in Rogers, Duluth Trading Company. And so we went in there to see what they had and ran across this hat. And tried it on and it fit. So I thought, what the heck? I don't normally find a hat that'll fit me, so we went ahead and got it. So anyway, Deb says she thinks I look good in it, so I guess we'll go with that.
Yes,
right?
I
Okay.
do.
Awesome. But anyway, while we're on the subject of hats, right?
Okay.
We have a couple other hats we want to show you right quick. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Make sure you give me mine. Okay. Yeah, we are now camp hosts at one of our favorite campgrounds on Beaver Lake. And we were approached by the Corps. We got to know all the rangers all through the summer. And we've been talking to them kind of back and forth about maybe doing something like this.
And they called us when we were in Oklahoma.
Yeah, they called us while we were in Oklahoma. And first what happened was the camp hosts that were here at this particular one for the summer, they had to leave a month early because of medical issues. So they asked us if we would come and at least fill in through the rest of the summer season, which is the month of September. The winter season starts off in October, and this particular campground is open in October. So we said, sure, we'll do that, because after all, it meant free rent and all that stuff, you know, that goes along with it. Then, of course, we got to talking about being the winter camp host here. And I guess we need to talk a little bit about, and get a little personal here, about why we decided to go ahead and remain as the winter camp host. And it's very simple. It has to do with finances. We had big plans for traveling south during the winter. But if you remember here a few months back, we did a video about diabetes scare.
In June.
In June. Mm-hmm. And then we did and also during that video we discussed the fact that we thought that we could stay in the Beaver Lake system the entire summer, and that would still make it where I could still continue working my part-time job. Well, then we found out that the rule stated, as we mentioned in this video, that you could only stay 2 weeks in the Beaver Lake system, then you had to be away from the Beaver Lake system at another system, like over at Table Rock Lake or Bull Shoals Lake or Oologah, Oklahoma. So anyway, that kind of messed up the plans because of the rules. Right? So I had to quit my job. Well, what we had planned to use the money for that I was making on my part-time job was to pay off our credit cards.
Yes.
And we couldn't quite get there.
So sometimes you have to bend with the wind, right?
Yeah, you have to bend with the wind. You have to drop back and punt. That's all there is to it. It's not something we really wanted to do, but on the other hand, it sure made it a lot easier to do what we need to do.
Plus, we had a few modifications we want to make, which you're going to go through here in a minute.
Exactly. And so that's the whole thing. Even though we will be stationary for the next, until April the 1st, we'll be stationary here at this particular campground until April the 1st. We have a lot of projects. We'll have plenty of things to talk about on the YouTube channel, because we have several things we're going to have to tweak about the trailer. And in fact, rather than try to talk about them right now, why don't I just show them right quick?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the different things that we have planned, which will be plenty of content as far as the channel is concerned, plenty of things for you folks to see how we did this, and we'll document it and all that stuff. And this could be helpful to the folks that are building their own conversion. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right quick.
Sounds good.
Okay, the camp host site has full hookups, including sewer. Now, right now we're using our tanks because I need to order the parts I need in order to make a rigid drainage system down to the drain. And as you can see right here, if you'll remember back when we did the video on how we did this, I did use Hepvo P-traps. Now the line that you see coming over here on the right side of the screen, that one comes down from the shower, and that has a regular 3-inch style dump on it, just like a RV. The line on the left side over here is coming down from the vanity area, and it has a P-trap inside. So we'll be tying on to this, and then we also have a 3-inch sewer dump down here. And right now we have adapters for garden hoses on those, and that's how we're draining into the tanks. But we have another 3-inch sewer dump tucked underneath the trailer right here. So what I'll be doing is getting some 3-inch PVC, and I've got to order a few parts from eTrailer.com in order to make all this work. But I'll be running a rigid 3-inch PVC pipe from here all the way down to here. And then there will be a T at the end where I'll have a hose coming out connecting to the T here, and on the other side of the T it will go on over, let's see if I can find it here, and that's where the drain is right below that brick right there. So that's what we'll be doing first, and then we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, while we're over here on this side of the trailer, if you all will remember, we did a video here a while back about how we had to rig up a valve system at the end of the hose when we were filling our tank with the gravity fill. And right here is the gravity fill. And a lot of folks also commented about they didn't see where we had a vent on the freshwater tank. There is the vent right there. Now the freshwater tank, the entrance to the freshwater tank is over here, and that's where the water feeds. It feeds from there over to here. Well, in order to make everything fit, to make this work, I had to put a 90-degree fitting at the water inlet on the freshwater tank, which is behind this wall and below the bed. The freshwater tank sits directly above the axle center line. Well, because of that, we had to put a valve in the line to slow the water down, because what was happening was, if you ran the hose wide open or ran the faucet wide open, water would get backed up at the 90-degree fitting, which is behind the wall here that you can't see, and then it would just start belching back out over here. So we had to put a valve on the end of the hose to slow the water down so that it wouldn't get backed up over here where that is. And consequently, when you have a 50-gallon freshwater tank and it's totally empty, it takes a while to fill it. It takes a while to fill it because you have to slow the water down. So what I'm planning on doing, I'm going to mount, let me step back here a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to mount a single water inlet right here. And from here, I'll have a straight shot into the water inlet on the freshwater tank, which is behind the wall back there underneath the bed. And that way, when I go to hook up right here, I'll literally be able to plug the hose in right here and open the faucet wide open and let her go. And the way I'll know when the tank is full is when it starts coming out of the little vent that you see right there. We do have a vent tube connected to the freshwater tank. Now, of course, this gravity fill will be of no use then, so I'll be plugging it off on the inside, which is, it comes out underneath the kitchen cabinet. So that's what we're going to be working on over here. All right, we never did a video concerning the windows, but I don't mind telling you right now, I had a heck of a time making these windows seal where they wouldn't leak. And when they came from the factory installed, we had problems with water leaking around them. And first I tried just running some sealer around the perimeter of the window, and that didn't help at all. So then what I finally ended up doing, pulling the windows completely out, and then I went down and cleaned off what little they didn't put very much sealer at all on the flange, and I cleaned off what little sealer was there. And then I went down to Camp World and I got some regular butyl tape and I reinstalled them with butyl tape, and that pretty much took care of the problem. And it wasn't really that big of a deal. But now what I still have yet to do is the butyl tape, as you can see around the edges here, after it's set for a while in the sun and everything, the butyl tape has started to ooze a little bit around the edges, and I tightened them periodically on the inside a little bit, and I've got them cinched down pretty good. Now I still have a little bit of issue, and you can see it more on the other side. Let me walk over here to the other side and see if I can get a shot. The sun is not cooperating with me. There's Deb, just taking it easy, by the way. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Anyway, over here, I don't know if you can see it very well or not because the sun is creating an issue for me. But with the air conditioner running, of course, the condensation is draining down right there, and it's running across the top of the window here. And a little bit of it somehow is still getting inside the frame, and you can see where some of that, and it looks nasty. We got a lot of trees around here, and there's a lot of crap coming out of the trees. Oops, I said the C word. There's a lot of stuff coming out of the trees right now, which makes it look a lot worse than it is. And you can see on this side, it oozed even worse than it did on the other side. So what my plan is, I'm going to install drip rails above these windows. I found a few drip rails online. Some of them have mixed reviews. A lot of folks said that they were cheap and they were thin and all this stuff. But I am going to experiment with drip rails. I'm still looking. I haven't decided exactly which company to buy it from. But first, I'm going to go ahead and clean off the excess butyl tape residue here, and then I'm going to run a thin bead of a black sealer around that. Probably have to mask it off first and leave just a real small little area there, and then run the sealer around that. and then peel the masking tape away. And then I'll be installing drip rails above, and I'll put a drip rail above this window, a drip rail above the small window here, and of course the drip rail above this window over here. So that will be another project. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Okay, now Deb's going to help me a little bit with this one, right, Deb?
Yes.
All right. When we bought the cabinets, I thought I was buying good cabinets, and I still think I bought good cabinets. Don't you think I still bought good cabinets? Yeah.
They're not made to go down
Jostle
the road.
down the road. That's the thing. On the cabinets, what I looked for when I was buying the cabinets, I didn't want any particle board at all. And a lot of them that we looked at were in the price that we could afford, were made out of particle board. But we happened to find some cabinets that were made out of all plywood and oak. So, but what we ran into, which I didn't know that much about at the time, and I'll get under here so I can show you. Let me see if I can get this in here so you can see it. But if you'll notice back there, you can see the way these drawer slides are arranged. They're mounted at the back with little plastic inserts back there. You see these little plastic inserts on these drawers here. Now, everything was fine except for, you see that one right down there? It broke back there on that one. And this drawer here is the one that quit working because, you know, it broke down there. And because it just couldn't hold up to going down the road, and we still had a few plates in it and things like that, and it was just too much weight. So my plan there is to go ahead and take these off, of course, and then I'm going to install regular heavy-duty drawer slides from Lowe's or Home Depot, and I'll have to modify the inside wall. Let me see if I can get down here where I can hold. I'll have to modify this inside wall a little bit to make it work, because I've got those drawer slides will screw into the side wall. Well, the way this is built out right here, I'll have to build up another layer of plywood here after I determine exactly how thick it's got to be, so that when I secure it to the inside wall on both sides, then I can go ahead and screw my drawer slides in and make it work, and hopefully that will remedy that situation. So that is that project. Now the next project, since we're sitting here, let me zoom in down there, and I'm just doing this just to show you what I'm talking about. Down there is where the Max fan is installed, and you notice how I framed out around the Max fan so it would match all the woodwork that we have everywhere else. And what you see in the middle, what you see there in the middle is Deb made up she covered it with fabric, but she took a piece of foam, covered it with fabric so we could stick it up in and cover that area when it's really hot, and that keeps the sunlight from shining in and helps the air conditioner work a whole lot more efficiently. So, and that's what I'm talking about next. Can I move over here, babe? Anyway, let me slide that back. You can see here, let me zoom back for you. There we go. Now, when we installed the air conditioner, we did it rather hurriedly. We just wanted to get it in right quick, and we knew we had to build it down a little bit in order to make everything work for my wires to run. So now what I have left to do is go ahead and trim out around this and make it nice and pretty, so it will match the Max Air fan and the way it's trimmed out on the front. So that will be another project. And of course, when I do that, I'll be building a chase that covers the feed wire that comes right here, that goes into the air conditioner right here. And yes, for those of you that are wondering, that is number 12 wire that's going to the air conditioner, and everything is working just fine. All right, now we'll move on to the next project. All right, now let's talk about the axles. And if you'll remember, I've probably mentioned this on more than one occasion in several of our videos, that if you're considering ordering or custom ordering a cargo trailer to turn into an RV or a tiny house like we did, strongly consider opting for the straight axles rather than the standard 4-inch drop axles that usually come with them. And the main reason why, I always have to block my trailer up. I have to actually jack it up, lift it up, and put it on blocks in order to get the trailer high enough so that my drains will drain properly. to my tanks. And so that's been an issue, and it takes a little bit more time whenever we're setting up. Now, we do have it down to a science. We can get it done pretty quick. We already know exactly what we need to do, and we've got it figured out. But anything we can do to make it easier. So what I'm going to do, it'll probably be the very last project that we do, and it'll probably be down towards a month or so before we actually pull out of here, which we'll be pulling out of here April 1st. I'm going to swap out the axles for straight axles. I'm going to swap out these 4-inch drop axles for straight axles. So we will be doing a video about that. I'm still looking around, checking about prices and things like that, but that is definitely on the list, and that'll make it a whole lot easier to set up. It'll be pretty much the same standard height as a regular RV then, so it'll make it a little bit easier when I'm worrying about my sewer dumps and things like that. So that is on the agenda.
So as you can see, we have a lot of projects to do, a lot of things to talk about.
Going to be busy.
Going to be busy, busy, busy. There will be a lot of things, you know, that we can document on the channel, things that you might find helpful if you're doing a conversion. So this is the stuff that we'll be doing. So there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of stuff that we'll be doing on the channel. In addition to that, you can't really tell too much with the camera set in the way it is, but the trailer is absolutely filthy.
It needs a really good wash.
Yeah, so we are going to wash the trailer and shine it up.
It might be
polish
red when we get done.
It might actually be the real red that it started out as being. So we'll have that to do. And when we did the van, when we did the build out on the inside of the van in order to haul the things that we needed, we kind of rather hurriedly did that. And since then, we've come up with some new ideas about how to redo that. So we'll probably be documenting how we redo the way the van and how it's going to be set up to haul the things that we need. Things that we found that'll make it easier, even easier
It's
to
all
set
about
up.
making it easy.
It's
'cause
all
you know
about
what?
making it easy, all about having something where it needs to be,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. I'm all
Exactly.
about making life easier.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at. Well, fortunately, we're at a campground that we absolutely love.
Yes,
Should we tell them where it is?
it's our Paradise Found.
Yeah, it's our Paradise Found. We did a video a few months back about it, and what month did we do that? Do you remember? I think it was April or May.
I want to say April.
Yeah, called Paradise Found at Lost Bridge. So we are the winter camp host, the official winter camp host at Lost Bridge North, and in Northwest Arkansas, and it's a beautiful campground. And yes, this campground is open all through the winter. Right?
Yes.
So briefly, what we'll do, we'll go over it right quick, what the winter fees are and how it works. Would you like to tell them all that, Deb?
The winter starting October 1 in this particular campground. You come in. I've got 34 campsites to choose from, unless someone else is there, but you pick your campsite, you go ahead and set up. I will be driving through the park 2, 3, 4 times a day. I will bring you a pay envelope. The campsites are $17, or anyway they were last year. I'm assuming the same price, $17 or $17.50 if you happen to get one of our 2 50-amp sites. We figure up how many days, you write a check, put it in an envelope, and we put it in the pay box. It's kind of a honor system type
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
And other than that, that's pretty much half price. Now,
Yeah.
if you have
The senior
the
pass.
senior pass like we do,
Right.
it's
It's
half of that.
Like $8, eight and a
So,
half, you know?
Which you get access to drinking water, and you get electricity, and we have dump stations that will be open. So it's a really good price, and it's a beautiful portion of the lake.
Yes, gorgeous.
And weather-wise, who knows? We're in Northwest Arkansas. October, November, usually even into December, it's really nice here.
Yeah, yeah. And the
So-
foliage is just beautiful, especially October and November when the fall
Yeah.
weather sets in.
So are
Yeah.
we a little disappointed that we're not going to be traveling?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, we are.
But
But-
we're going to take advantage of it.
We had to face reality.
Yeah.
And this will allow us
Don't we
this-
hate being reality?
this will allow us to be responsible adults. And, get our credit cards paid off and everything, and plus we'll have our little Chevy HHR paid off. We only have a one and a half payments left.
Bill
on
will
that.
get all the little honeydew things done.
Yeah, All the little honeydew things done. So, anyway, we'd love for y'all to come and see us while we're here. October and November could be beautiful here, folks. And but like I say, and we didn't mention one thing: you cannot reserve any sites online during this part of the year.
No,
No,
it's all first come.
it's all first come, first serve, strictly walk up, and you cannot pay with a credit card or a debit card. You have to pay with either a check or cash during that time. But that's
Right.
it. And there won't be any showers available during that time, so you'd have to use the facilities in your trailer because they will shut down the bathhouses that have showers. They will have pit toilets available, but that's really about it,
Yep.
right? So you'll
Well,
know all
there'll
that
be
stuff,
electricity. There will be water available where you can fill
right?
your tank, and there's also the dump stations will be open.
Right. The dump stations be open. There will be city water available throughout the park where you can fill your tank, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And of course, have access to the lake. The marina will still be open.
Yep.
Yep. Good fishing on the lake. So hey, come out and see us. We'll play guitar. We'll charcoal grill some steaks and burgers. We'll just have a blast, right? And we'll give you a tour of the trailer, right?
Sure.
One other little thing we'll mention right quick before we go. There's something still kind of in the back of our mind, and there is no decision either way has been made on this, but we are considering building a new conversion.
Right.
Right. Of course, in order to do that, we'd have to sell this one behind us here. So that's in the works too. We have a new design. Well, its design is very similar to the one we have, except it'd be on a bigger trailer. It'd be on an 8.5 by 20. But this time the kitchen would be in the front and the bathroom would be in the back. Plus this design will allow us to have a larger bathroom with even a bigger shower than what we have right now. So, and some folks mentioned a while back if we'd consider selling the trailer, and at that time I said no. But if the conditions were right and everything worked out okay, we would consider doing something like that so we could build this new one. And what we're going to do, we're going to post in the comment section, we're going to post our email, which we've had this email forever, but we've never really told anybody about it, but it's iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. Anybody that has an interest like that would like to ask some questions, feel free to email us there at iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. And we'll talk about it. Right now we're just testing the water. We haven't made any kind of decision either way. It could happen or it won't happen. If it does, great. If not, that's great too.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. But anyway, we're just having a wonderful time. We're still enjoying our life. We have been full-timing now for 6 months.
Yes, this
in
is
the
our
trailer.
6-month anniversary
Yeah.
video.
Anniversary movie.
The video.
6-month video.
Well, it's as long as a movie.
Anyway, and we'll try to get her hat adjusted where it fits a little bit better. On
I have
her
a
head,
vest.
too. You have a vest. She probably won't wear the hat. She'll wear the vest. But anyway, we're gonna say goodbye. Right? Is it time? Anything
It's
else you can
time.
think of?
No.
Come see us, folks, if you can. We'd love to meet you. We met some folks today from South Carolina. As they were heading out of the campground, they stopped and visited for an hour and a half before they finally left. We had a wonderful time.
And we love it.
Yes, we just love it. We're meeting more and more folks now than we had before because we get to talk to them every day.
Nicest people in the world are
Yes.
campers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we got one thing to say.
We're not camping.
We're living.
We're living.
This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.